A trainer I used to work with told me the meaning of your communication is the response you get. The meaning of your communication is the response you get. So today I'm going to try to explain something to you that is hard to explain to myself even. It's about me and my connection, my relationship with my voiceover community, which I feel has been shifting a little bit lately. It started a while ago, but it really hit me when I volunteered at a summer camp for kids down the street from where I live. It's called the Old Stonehouse Time Travelers Camp, and kids from 6 to 12 spend a week playing, learning and having fun together. And I was mainly there to take pictures, but most of the kids interacted with me and were actually interested in the person behind this camera here. And what's more, they thanked me for volunteering and for taking pictures of their camp. After the first week, the leadership team at the Old Stonehouse sent me this card here. It says, "Paul, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your pictures were perfect and we appreciate you." Although I always say, I'm in it for the music, not for the applause, I have to tell you it's nice to be appreciated. It makes me feel that what I do matters and that it makes a difference, that it's just not a big waste of time. I had the same feeling when I was MC for the Eastern Farmers Market, the oldest outdoor farmers market in the United States that's still going strong. For me, it was a way to use my voice for my town, for my people, and help local farmers and merchants sell their produce and products. And every Saturday, people told me how much they enjoyed it, and they thanked me for doing it. And it felt good. I have to tell you, it felt much better than receiving a nice big check for doing any of my voiceover work for clients I don't even know. And every year the farmers at the market threw an appreciation dinner for all the volunteers, and that was always the highlight of the season. There's no such thing in a voiceover community. Of course that has to do with the fact that we mainly interact via social media, but not in person. But even on social media we can show our appreciation in many ways, but most of the time we don't. And that's why I started Good Mouth Mondays. The idea behind it is that every Monday you pick someone you're grateful for and you praise that person in public using social media. The first couple of weeks I saw quite a few Good Mouth Monday posts here and there, but I don't think we're keeping the momentum going. Of course I can't force anyone to say something nice about someone, and something will only be a success if people see the value. Nevertheless, I have to admit that I expected a little bit more. Another thing that has disappointed me has to do with how the voiceover community handles criticism and critics. I've shared with you before that I think our community is pretty lame, and that very few people dare to speak up against the powers that be, and those who do, people like me, are quickly labeled as being negative and nasty. I usually shrug that off, but you should see some of the messages I receive, private messages, when people don't like what I say, and those are not the messages you see in public comments. No. Usually they turn it into personal attacks instead of challenging the content, the things that I write about. I know it's part of the risk of being outspoken, but I'm happy to have a discussion about the subject matter with anyone, anytime, as long as people stay respectful and polite. When I point certain things out, I do it in the hopes to make things better, not to tear anyone or anything down. And here's one last thing that doesn't sit well with me. When I go to conferences and meetups, which I love, so many people come up to me thanking me for saying all the things that they tell me that they are thinking but are too afraid to share. Oh, Paul, you exactly say the things that I'm thinking, and I just don't want to say it publicly because you never know what will happen. And of course I appreciate hearing that, but I've been hearing it for years and years and years, and did it move the needle in any significant way? Did the same people back me when I advocated for fair fees and protested against predatory pay-to-plays? Did they weigh in about unfair terms and conditions? Did they speak up when colleagues dragged me through the mud? Some did, some, and I'm thankful for that. But the silent majority sits back and enjoys the spectacle while complaining about how low rates are and how hard it is to find any work as a voiceover these days. And let me ask you, how's that working for you? Have conditions for voiceovers improved over the past 10 years, or is it harder to make a decent living? And whose fault is that? Who has been enabling that? Silence implies consent, and we get what we tolerate, inaction has consequences. Hollywood actors have had it, but most voice actors rather hide inside their comfy studios. Now, Uncle Roy's annual voiceover barbecue is coming up. And if you're not familiar with that, Roy Oakelson's party is one of the voiceover events of the year, bringing many colleagues together for a potluck meal, bagels and drinks and music. And with a heavy heart I told Roy I'm not going this year because I'm not feeling it. I'm kind of sick of people who tell me how much they appreciate me being so outspoken, but who don't have the balls to back me up in fear of their reputation. I know voiceovers are good at giving lip service, but actions speak louder than words. So here's what I decided. For at least a year, I'm staying away from in-person events such as meetups and conferences. I'm also not doing any interviews, podcasts or speaking engagements. I just said no to an invite to appear on the VoiceOver Body Shop. I will keep on posting on social media, including my blog at nethervoice.com, because it keeps my brain active and it feeds my soul, and it's good for my SEO as well. I also don't want to give my critics the pleasure of feeling they've gotten rid of me. Weeds don't die so easily, and I plan to stick around for a while. But my posts won't be all about or for the voiceover community. I'm broadening my horizons. Please understand that I'm not asking for sympathy or last-minute appreciation. I'm not Eeyore hoping to be noticed. If I haven't heard from you for some time, don't bother, it's okay. And if you don't hear from me for a while, I'm probably busy in my local community here in Vermont, with a camera and not a microphone, and with a big smile on my face. And remember, the meaning of your communication is the response you get.